Hello and welcome to Time Tunnel, where we find out what was making news in the past. I'm Alicia Davis in New York, and today we travel back to this day in 1979. ABC's Frank Reynolds had the news.
From ABC, this is World News Tonight, with Peter Jennings in Poland, Max Robinson in Chicago. Tonight, Barbara Walters with National Transportation Safety Board Vice Chairman Elwood Driver. And from our desk in Washington, Frank Reynolds.
Good evening. Pope John Paul II continued his triumphal tour of his homeland today, speaking diplomatically but pointedly about the relationship between the Church and communism. Here's Peter Jennings in the Polish city of Yasna Gora.
Frank, in a country where free speech may land you in trouble with the government, it is still important your listener hears what you have to say. It is nuance and interpretation which gets the message through. As the Pope came here to Yasna Gora today, his congregation waited to discover whether he would continue his excursion into the politics of Eastern Europe. John Paul has emphasized the reality. In Poland, at least, politics and religion are inseparable. He reminded the faithful Pope Paul VI had wanted to come here. The Polish government had said no. There is little doubt in any of these vast crowds that were this Pope not Polish, he wouldn't be here either. How potent is his message? Polish television has broadcast his visit, but is under instructions not to show how large the crowds are. This was largely a day devoted to the Virgin Mary, to whom this shrine is dedicated. But once again, he departed from his text, entrusting, he said, nations he could not name to her care. There is little doubt among the faithful, he carries the banner for all Christians behind the Iron Curtain. Here in Yasna Gora today, church officials charge government authorities with preventing the faithful from coming. The hunger to see the Pope is everywhere. Many Poles believe this will be the last time his homeland sees him in person. The extent of his visit, this tireless man, might lead one to think he agrees. Bill Blakemore travels with him.
"What else do you want to sing?" he asked. And another old Polish song welled up from the crowd, and they sang together, his deep baritone amplified, booming out above them, a long duet between the crowd, mostly young people, and their Pope. His speech had finished an hour before in this town square, but they wouldn't let him go, nor did he want to. In earlier days, as priest and bishop, he'd often hiked in his native mountains here with youth groups, sung around the campfire. The words of one song they sang now together: "Mountaineer, aren't you sad to leave? Aren't you sad? Come back to your mountain home." And another sung frequently in Poland with political overtones about the Black Madonna, at whose shrine the Pope prayed today. The Black Madonna is an icon painting of a dark-skinned Virgin Mary, credited with miracles including saving Poland from invaders 300 years ago, at which time she was named the Queen of Poland. She rules still as the central religious object in Poland's nationalistic Catholicism, commanding an allegiance the communist regime does not approach. The central figure in Poland's nationalistic religion is this singing Pope, who does not know when he will return to his country. As the day drew to a close, they sang an old Polish hymn to the evening. Bill Blakemore, ABC News, Poland.
It is not just in Poland, but throughout the Soviet bloc that the Pope's visit is being watched with a mixture of fear, trepidation, and anticipation. After 35 years of atheist indoctrination, God is not dead by any means. Hungary, for example, has the second largest Catholic population in Eastern Europe. Kati Martin has been watching the Pope's visit from Budapest.
This is the only place in Hungary where the visit of the Pope to his native land is a real topic for discussion inside the churches of Hungary. The state-controlled media's coverage of the papal visit has been limited to showing the Pope with Polish party leaders. This is a church not defiant, but one that endures and still manages to draw 70% of the Hungarian population, the young as well as the old. Their Catholicism permanently linked to their sense of nationalism, ever since another Pope, Sylvester II, crowned Hungary's first king 1,000 years ago. In 34 years, the Communist Party has had no real success in wiping out these Hungarians' twin loyalty to church and nation, and has stopped actively trying to do so. It was not always so. This man, Joseph Cardinal Mindszenty, the most stubborn symbol of the Church's resistance during the ugliest days of Stalinist repression, broken by the party, tortured into confessing to treason, the Cardinal spent his last 15 years in Hungary in self-imposed exile inside the American embassy. Mindszenty is dead, and so is that chapter. Hungarian reaction to the papal visit has been subdued, cautious. But these Catholics now have a profound sense that they have a voice that's heard around the world. I'm Kati Martin, ABC News, Budapest.
And what you can do for your country.